What if you could trade ICT concepts without having to worry about a daily bias, without having to worry about fair value gaps or order blocks, and by only using 3 simple lines? Now, I'm gonna share my screen in a second here and show you guys the exact strategy that made me quit ICT and actually helped me become a full-time trader. But first, I wanna share with you guys the reason why the strategy works so well and what it's been able to do for me. You see, way back when I was trading ICT, it was just extremely complicated. I was only limited to futures and Forex. There were so many different concepts I had to learn, and just figuring out things like the daily bias and everything else just became extremely confusing and complicated. And so what I've done is I've figured out the core concepts of how ICT actually works. And the core concepts are based around things like balance theory, based around things like institutional buying and selling, based around things like stop hunts and liquidity grabs. And these are concepts that can be turned into a way where it's very, very easy to trade. And that's what I've created, called the triple line method, which I'm gonna share with you guys in this exact video. Now, the reason why the strategy works so well is because it's rooted in the same exact concepts that ICT uses and how the markets actually move in general when we talk about institutional versus retail trading. But the best part about this strategy is that not only have I been extremely consistent with it, seeing very consistent 1% growth days on my $20,000 small account, but I've been able to get my freedom back. Because with ICT, I would sit there spending so many hours at the screen, figuring out, trying to make it work. But with this strategy, it only takes about 30 to 60 minutes of the day. And it works on stocks, it works on options, futures, Forex, works on pretty much everything. And it is so much easier. And it's allowed me to come out to Dubai. It's allowed me to trade full time. And I've made it set up in a way where it is so easy that literally any one of you guys watching this video could do it literally today. Now let me dive in the charts and show you guys the exact strategy so you can start making money right away. All right, so we're in the charts now. I want to show you guys the exact strategy that made me a full-time trader. Now, the strategy is called triple line method. Okay, it stands for TLM or triple line method, and you guys can kind of already get a good glance. All it uses is 3 simple lines. Okay, it has 2 black lines, one up here, one down here, and then 1 middle line. Okay, now all of these lines are auto plotted already using an indicator called TLM levels. Okay, I'll show you guys later in the video how to get those levels, but for now, here's how you play and use this actual strategy. Now the way you want to do it is you're always looking at the previous day's levels to trade the current day's price action. Okay, so we're going to take a look at this example here on Meta on a 5-minute chart. I have a few other examples to show you. But on this day, when price opened right around here, around 517, we would want to use the previous day's levels. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to extend these levels so it makes it really, really easy to see what levels we're actually dealing with. So I'm going to get 2 like that, put 1 in the middle, and then we're just going to change 1 in the middle. It doesn't really matter what the colors are, but just so we know which 2 levels are different. And then we can go ahead and turn this off, and then there we go. We got our levels for the day. Now, the way the strategy works is simple, right? There's 3 levels. The mid-level you don't really need to worry about. We can get into that later. But for now, the upper 2 levels are really important. So in between the upper 2 levels, so in between 516 and 511, that's what we call the zone, okay? Now, the way the strategy works is like this, okay? When price goes inside the zone from either side, either up or below, so let's say from up, we come down inside the zone, we're going to expect price to rotate down to the other side of the zone just like that, okay? That is it. It's really, really simple. And the reason why the strategy works is because all these way these levels are calculated is rooted in something called balance theory, which is basically how price actually move, how they move in terms of value, how auction markets actually move in terms relative to price. It's a whole different thing I can go into later, but I really just want to focus and keep it simple because you guys don't really need to know exactly how the intricacies of how the strategy actually works, okay? But here's essentially how it works, right? There's 2 different ways to enter, and I'm going to go ahead and show you guys both. Now, the first way is like this, okay? Price is either going to open inside the zone or outside the zone. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make this a rectangle so you guys can see kind of what we're dealing with here. Okay, so this is the zone we're looking at. Now, again, price is going to open inside or outside. Let's say price opens outside the zone. What you want to see is price go inside the zone. We look to get short, and then we target the other side of the zone. Same thing with the other side. Okay, let's say price opens below the zone. We come inside, we want to look to get long on a pullback and target the other side of the zone just like that. Really, really simple. Now, if price opens inside the zone, slightly different. Now, what we want to look for is basically the same thing, right? We want to see price open inside, come outside the zone, come back inside, and then rotate down to the other side. Okay, really, really simple. Same thing with the other side. So let's say price opens around here. We want to see price come down below outside the zone. We want to see it come outside the zone, then come back inside the zone, then we can look for a move all the way back up to this 517 area, just like that. So it's a similar concept. You just have to be aware of is price opening inside the zone or is price opening outside the zone, okay? Now let me show you an example of how I would have traded this. Now, if we take a look at Meta, we're gonna zoom in on a 1 minute chart here. So let me zoom in. And typically when I trade this, guys, you wanna use either a 1 minute or a 5 minute chart. You don't really need to do anything else or more than that. 1 minute or 5 minutes should be sufficient enough to trade this. So we look at the 1 minute. Now what do we see happen, okay? And we see price kind of just barely wick out in the beginning. Usually the first few minutes you want to wait, give it a real chance to get out of that zone. So we wait a little bit. Price ends up coming outside the zone right here. Then what happens? Price comes back inside the zone. So at this point, or even on this move down here, we would look to get short. Okay, so anywhere in this area, we look to get short. You can put your stop right above the high of day. And then we're going to target this level down here at 511.38. Okay, and if you can do this, you can make consistent profits because this strategy works. Okay, and again, these are not just random levels plotted on the chart. These are levels that are rooted inside of auction market theory. Okay, they're levels that look at the previous day's price action and help to identify where the most likelihood of the price actually going when we come inside and outside of that zone. Okay, so it's really, really simple. Now let me go ahead and show you guys another example just to break this down for you guys. So now let's take a look at the Qs. Okay, now the Qs, again, you could trade the same exact thing on futures, NASDAQ futures. I just like looking at SPY and QQQ because I think it's a little bit easier. So here's essentially how it works, right? Same exact thing. These are the previous levels. And what I'll do, I'll just show you guys here. You can see how they're already in. I'll show you guys after how it's the same exact levels, but I just plotted them already for you. So price opens outside the zone. What do? We wait. We wait for about 30 minutes to go by. Price comes inside the zone. Then what do? Then we look to get short right around this area here. We put our stop loss above this little supply zone, above this high here, and we target all the way down here. It's super, super simple, right? I can show you guys, I can just get rid of these charts and then plot the same levels with the indicator. You can see it's right there. Look at the previous day's levels. So we have that high level right here, the low level right here. You can see as price got inside of this zone here, we simply just went from one side of the zone right to the other, just like that. We go inside, we rotate all the way down to the other, and this works time and time again. I'm gonna show you another example. This is SPY, same exact thing, okay? This is the previous day's levels. I know it's very consolidated, looks very confusing. But price opens up right here at 9:30. What does price do? Price ends up ripping down. We come inside the zone. We consolidate, chop around for a little bit, right? What you can do is you can look to get short right around this area here for your stop above the high. Target down here. Get a nice 1.4R trade, okay? Like I said, we're not going for these crazy 2R, 3R, 5R trades every time. I'm going for simply 1-to-1s, 1.5-to-1s. That is sufficient enough, okay? With these numbers, with the strategy, you can get about 1.4 average risk reward and about a 63% win percentage. Okay, those are typical kind of numbers you can look for when trading this strategy. Okay, and again, the same exact thing, right? If you remember these levels, I can go ahead and turn these on and then remove them, and you can see it's the same exact levels from the previous day. And all these levels are plotted every single day. Okay, so you know exactly where the levels are. You don't even have to guess. You can just trade price from line to line every single time. Now, if we look back at QQQ, you may be saying, well, Jordan, this trade took like the entire day. Like it took, 2-3 hours. I don't have time to stare in front of the screen. I don't have time to trade all these different stocks. And this is where you can do something called automation. Okay, and automation is really, really key because automation allows me to simply trade the first 30, 60 minutes and be done for the rest of the day. That is it. And the best part about this is you can set OCOs on pretty much every single broker. How does it work? Well, let me show you an example on QQQ. What did price do? You can see price came back down. And around this area is when I look to get short. Okay, so you look to get short here. Let me just draw this out. Put your stop of the high. You can target down at this low here. Nice 1.4R trade. Now, if you're trading futures, it's really, really simple and really easy. All you have to do is set your stop, set your target, and then walk away. You can set an order up called an OCO. So it's spelled like this, OCO. And you can do it on pretty much any broker. You just set your stop, you set your target, and you walk away. And you have the confidence knowing that the strategy is going to work. Now, with options, you can do the same thing. Let's say you wanted to get, the 440 puts, like a week out. You simply buy them, and then your broker, you set market condition orders. Go ahead and type that out for you guys. You can set market condition orders. And that's the same thing. Basically says, okay, when price of QQQ hits 441.88, I want you to close out of the option. Or when price of QQQ hits 437, after take profit, I want you to close out of the option as well. So you can set it up in a way where you're trading options based on the underlying stock simply by using OCO orders or automated orders. Okay, and this is exactly how I trade, because typically after the first hour, the strategy doesn't really work. I don't really trade the triple line method after the first hour. It kind of loses its edge. And because of that, I really am limited to only trading the first 30, 60 minutes of the day. And that by far is the best thing you can do, because you only trade the first hour, you let it do its thing, and then after that, you don't need to worry about the stock, don't need to worry about the setup, you simply just trade it just like this. And the best part about this is that this strategy works so well. Okay, and guys can show you that some of my students have been actually trading it and using it extremely well, okay? So it's just from yesterday, right? We had Alex Murphy trade nice 1-to-1 risk reward on SPY. Patrick had about 1.9 R on 1.9 R on Amazon, right? Michael was trading as well. Willie was making money with it. Seth was making money with NVIDIA. Isaac, same exact trade. The exact one I showed you. You can see it's the same chart, just like this, okay? He was trading the same exact thing, made about $134. Same exact trade. Zach was trading Meta, right? I can go on and on and on and on and show you guys how well this actually works, because there's the proof to show you that this actually works. And these are results happening every single day. You can see Zach made about $2,500. Caesar is 4 for 4 for the week, trading this exact strategy, okay? And again, why does this actually work? Because it's not just random levels you're throwing on a chart. These are rooted and proven to work based off of auction market theory, based off ICT concepts, based off concepts that have been studied to work for years and years and years. And I've been trading it full time for the last 2.5 years. Now, if you guys are interested and you guys want to learn exactly how to get these levels and also how to trade the strategy more in depth, because there are a few rules and more of like a step-by-step checklist I use to know when to actually trade it, I want you to go ahead and click the link down below and you can watch a free training that I made. Okay, it's a free training showing you guys exactly how my three-phase system works, which is kind of how this entire strategy works on its own. Okay, and if you can do that, you'll have the chance and the opportunity to actually get these levels and trade with them yourself, okay? So it's really, really simple. Go ahead and click the link down below. You can get and trade the exact same levels and learn just like this by going through that page and actually, booking a call with our team, having a strategy session, and seeing if you'd be a good fit for these levels anyways. It's really only good for certain people depending on what you're trading and how you are as a trader. So we want to make sure that if you're using them, you're going to be actually a good fit, and make sure that you can actually be profitable with them, okay? So hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, go ahead and leave a comment down below. Make sure to click the link, and I'll see you guys in the next video.